Probably not gonna let them go, though. I want my people to go free, too. After suffering defeat by the Tempers just barely, you return to the wagon to find Wulfrid and the Lone Minstrel in the midst of conversation. Most strange that this one star should be illuminated now. This is not what I expected. Nor I, Wulfrid, sir. Then Wulfrid notices you there. Reader, Tariq and I observed a strange occurrence in the sky is all. It appears that the star of Kael'mur Ropecollar is illuminated now. But it is but another star, except our models and predictions of the cosmos did not anticipate this. Kael'mur Ropecollar. The first exiles came to these lands not by force, but by heeding the Ropecollar's deceptions. The traitorous former aide of the Emperor, his actions inadvertently led to the 8 scribes to find each other. Anyway, go see for yourself. I shall make the wagon ready in the meantime. That's interesting. What does that mean? You see only a single shining star illuminating far above. It's just as Wulfrid indicated. You regard the looming star and discern where it leads. What does this mean? Maybe it'll have something to do with the sap? Because we still don't have a sap. I don't know why. Hey, 41%, it went up a little bit for some reason. I really wish there was explanations for these numbers being changed. Like, what is he basing these numbers on exactly? I'm not really sure. It's confusing. Alright, there we have it. The Tempers have risen to the incredible and impossible rank of 4 instead of 0. Hooray! They're now tied 5-5, so they have equal wins and losses. I thought they had the most. I thought they're supposed to have the most wins of anyone in the out of all of the groups. Like, obviously that's us now because we win constantly. I've only lost twice, and one of them was on purpose, and they're both against people that aren't ever going to win again. It's just strange that he's supposed to have a reputation for always winning. Yeah, prideful at having prevailed more than L triumphants combined, but that's not how this number works out. I guess he's just not as good recently. He apparently lost 5 times. Somehow. Look how high up Fate is. I'm gonna have to smite Chastity down if I can. What's up with the Rogue Star here? Rogue Scar, I said on accident. Then we are summoned to the Isle of Kael'mur, deep within the deathless tempest. According to the stars, the next rite shall soon commence here. The traitor Kael'mur Ropecollar fled to this strange isle and met a fitting end. Have you been there before, Tariq? So long ago I scarce recall the time, only the scent. It is the place from whence the creatures native to this land sprang forth. Reader, let's not concern ourselves with superstition held about that place. We'll set forth at dawn, and soon see for ourselves what to make of it. Right after I talk to people again. I haven't talked to you recently. Once more, have you returned to me? What is it, reader? Oh, if you just shut me out forever now. That's a bummer. Oh well. You know where to find me. Soulless Shell, sparkly thing in the center. It is, in fact, its heart, which it airs out from time to time. A keepsake from the Sea of Soulless. Only a monster would attempt to remove the heart, or would have the strength. So the way I take it is that there's shelf and floor space all over this entire place that slowly gets filled up by every single... It just constantly clutter gets added everywhere to fill up every little spot. I feel like every time you... Essentially every time you do a rite, basically, you end up going through a particular location and like those items get added to the map. I think that every time... I'm not really sure, but I think that every time you go through different parts of the story and you can pick 2 or 3 locations to do on the way, I think you're also picking which random nonsense items are going to show up in on your wagon. That's like, I think these could be different things if you pick different spots or something. Not totally sure. But there's definitely just a ton of stuff in here now. You are unaccustomed to seeing Bertrude smiling, and yet there she is doing just that. You soon see why. You have observed before how her manner seems to soften to the degree it can whenever Wulfrid is around. If only I could have seen their faces then. What was your secret, dare I ask, dear Bertrude? It appears that they are reminiscing about old times in the Commonwealth. Flame-resistant inks, Sandalwood. 'Twas the inks themselves which kept those volumes from being burnt to ash. Flame-resistant inks, of course. The good officers who came to visit, they were so intent on burning all the evidence, they did not stop to think. The evidence was fireproof. Alas, they later found a way to burn the stamping press regardless. Thy written words, they moved us many times, and many others whom we knew, there, in the southern bogs. Oh, that's interesting. Bertrude's basically a fan of Wolfred's printing press and his newspaper and stuff. No matter, dear Bertrude. What's done is done. At least we made it difficult for them. Is that not so? While introducing some of our fellow citizens to new ideas. Oh, never mind, I thought she was a coworker. I mean, a fan, but maybe she was a coworker. Also, I just noticed that her forearm has a hole in it. Like, that's just, she is just bone. But, like, not just bone. It's hard to be entirely sure. It might just be a really dark line to symbolize how there's, like, a depression there because she's so weirdly bony. Or it might literally be a hole through her wrist between the bones, but that's horrifying. Perhaps. My words would not have reached near half as many were it not for you. So, yeah, she was a helper then, never mind. Not to mention how I managed to elude them for another half-decade or so. I am ever thankful for your sacrifice. Thy thanks shall not be necessary, Sandalwood. Well, you shall have to take them from me anyhow. Thank you, Bertrude, for helping to fulfill a modest author's dreams. What good's a stamping press without good inks? So she made the inks then. No good at all. They exchange a laugh at this, but then... Even still. And through this new ordeal, thou hast no love for us, is that not so? Bertrude. Nay, we understand full well. Thou needst not further explain thyself. There are different kinds of love, Bertrude. On that account, thou hast nothing to teach us, Sandalwood. They each remain silent for a time. Our hearts, they cannot be controlled, Bertrude, blasted things they are. They act well on their own. He puts away his pipe. I am blessed to have you in my life, back in the Commonwealth and here as well. I mean that, although I know that is not enough. At first, Bertrude does not seem to acknowledge this in any way, but then... Nay, Sandalwood, it is enough. It is enough. She departs without awaiting a response, brushing past you as she goes. Wolfred soon turns away as well, politely bidding you a good evening. The two old friends have evidently managed their way past certain tensions in their long-standing relationship. They rather seem to draw a certain strength from one another. So they're apparently such old friends, they've already been through the entire cycle of one of them falling in love with the other one, essentially, but the other one not being able to turn the feeling in. That probably led to a wide gulf over time and time away from each other, but then they re-bridge the gap and they become friends again. Like, that's how long they've known each other, is that all those steps have basically already happened, which is a lot of steps. That's why she sounded like she was fangirling a bit, was because she still dotes on him. Well, time to go. And crash into some dudes, if I can. Wolfred Sky Explorer, achievement unlocked. This must be the last one. Wolfred joins you as you soar high above the storm-ravaged waters on approach to the infamous Isle of Kaelmer. Among its cursed qualities, it seems this wretched storm means I cannot rightly smoke. One of the downside's small misfortunes, I suppose. The wagon's drive imps seem not to mind, at least. In fact, they seem more animated now than usual, sir. Perhaps they feel some sort of connection to this place, Tariq. Do you suppose the accusers were able to make it here intact? I just had the occurrence of, like, because this guy joined the crew late, and he kind of took control, but then didn't take control. And then at that point, I'm just thinking, like, if I were to free Jodariel, the entire original crew would be gone, and I'd be exclusively with all the people we picked up along the way, including Wolfred, which is an interesting thing to think about, the narrative structure that a game where every character gets swapped out except the narrator protagonist that is kind of barely a character. They ought to have seen it in the stars, though we soon shall know for certain. That we shall. Take us in, please, reader. There's a bar brief. Falcon and Ron may be passing through here with a special offer. Well, I have the money now, damn it. Sharpshoal. Bertrude believes she can find alchemical reagents she requires along this route. What does that mean for her? I kind of want to redeem myself, frankly. Hope it's awesome. Deathless Tempest. You make landing within the Deathless Tempest, far west of where you first breached through the shores beyond. You wonder which sort of celestial landmark lies hidden amid these waters, though for now you have some time left before continuing onward. And that's how we trade with Falcon and Ron. Ooh, Beyond Crystal seeks Bertrude. Isn't that interesting? All these glowy items around here. Also, I've had Bertrude for so little that I barely even used her in a real round, and the Beyond Crystal already is after her? That's so fast. Tiny Tempest. Entertaining, but would unleash calamity if ever it were unbottled. A keepsake from Deathless Tempest. Oh, boy. You can still blow out the candles, which there are fewer now. Jadariel seems much more reserved than even than usual since her confrontation with Ignarius and the Tempers. Nonetheless, she addresses you. Tell me something, reader. Back where you came from, did you have someone whom you considered close? Did I say there was someone? However, say there's a brief relationship or that there was no one. Let's give our character a connection to somebody. Yeah. Say there was somebody. However brief, the memory of that relationship is something you will always bear. You mentioned briefly to Jadariel about a past relationship that meant something to you. She shows no reaction to the details, but you can tell that she is listening. I see. I had someone as well. It is something which did not end well, but there were times. She trails off. We had our times. He looks up at you then. That Ignarius, he is a base fool. We have not a thing in common, save a set of horns. Yet, here I am, drawing comparisons with how I felt at times back in the Commonwealth, while speaking to you of him. I'm a little old to be having such thoughts, reader, especially in a place such as this. Thank you for your time. Do not reveal this to the others. It is a trifling matter, and not to be of anyone's concern, especially not mine. Jadariel makes evident that she has nothing more to say about this. Ah. Tell her you take care for her? Ignarius would be a base fool indeed to not see what he sees in her. Oh, tell her you care for her as... Oh. I cared about the... I thought about the wrong word for caring. I was thinking of the word caring as in, like... I thought of the word caring as in, like, taking care of somebody as opposed to caring about somebody. And I was, like, completely misreading that sentence. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand. You could encourage it or you can discourage it, basically. Let's see. I'm probably gonna let her go free. I probably shouldn't. I mean, telling you to care for her, nah, probably not. But, like, she should, if she feels a connection with somebody, she should go for it, right? Yeah. If Jadariel has found some kinship with him, then that is comforting to hear. You suggest to her that Ignarius may not be as bad as he seems. You sense his feelings are sincere. Jadariel says nothing at first, but then she simply says, I appreciate that. He departs with a nod. I guess we'll see how that turns out. if we ever meet Ignarius again. He's not exactly in the crew. The Deathless Tempest. We waited for the Deathless Tempest to subside. We waited, but the Underking, he merely laughed and laughed, for the Deathless Tempest did not subside. It does not. What lies beneath the stretch of sea to cause for such an upheaval is best left to myth and speculation. We made passage, nonetheless, through sorcerous aid and fortune, scarce seeing the surrounding environs. We did detect a landform to the west. Solimer detected there was a presence of the treacherous aid who lured him into exile, and then followed him in turn. Mur, in his wisdom, thought it best to be avoided. At last did we arrive on distant lands, though seeing them provided little comfort. Was there another one? Nope. Well, we have one last chance then. There you are again, my lovely reader. How may I be of service? Oh, what's on your mind? Why are you doing this, reaching out to me, again, like this? I have been abandoned in this blasted rock more times than you could count, reader, and each time I have laughed it off, like so. I fear it will be different this time. Before, I knew that someone else would come around and pick up where the previous idiot left off, but now... She scoffs, then falls silent for a time. Well, it seems there may not be a next time after this, if what I am to understand about the stars out there is even half truth. So then, I can anticipate an eternity of utter solitude without even the blasted rites to keep me company. Understand that, while I may be an apparition in glass to you, I yet retain a shred of self, and do not happily foresee that outcome. And yet, you keep on coming back to me, like this. If this is all in service of a torment, then you are most cruel, O lovely reader. Commendably so, I have to say. So then, am I to understand you wish to spend more time with me thus, knowing full well the stars are soon to put an end to this little affair? As if in answer to your question, you feel what seems to be the Beyonder Crystal itself. The Beyonder Crystal seems to be pulling you away. Oh, it's pulling me away from Sandra. Let's stay with her longer. If you're able to provide some welcome company for her, then you shall do it. You focus your mind and remain where you are, there with Sandra, in the confines of the Beyonder Crystal, and remain there with her for some time. No words need to be exchanged between the two of you, and in the darkness there, for once, she does not feel alone. Soon enough, however, she bids you to depart. You shall leave those idiots of yours listless if you remain here for too long. Be gone already, and let me know if you have need of me. Maybe that improved her mood? I'm wondering how this works. Can I take her with me if we do end the rituals forever? Because we're talking about bad omens, like maybe the rituals are just going to end. Which is concerning for some reasons, because of course I have to worry about, like, am I not going to be able to free everybody, for example? Will they end before then? But if they do end, can I just keep the Beyonder Crystal with me? And then this person's not abandoned forever? Or if the rituals end forever, then would the Beyonder Crystal also end, for example? Certainly, my reader, you need but indicate who it is to be my subject for this round. Apparently you already, surprisingly. Bertrude, with a dangerous Curfang. You ask Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Bertrude. The old bog crone, then. She does have some potential, I should think. More so than most of those with whom you share this little residence. Then, let us bring her forth. Soon Bertrude appears in heat of the summons. We sense that you hast need of us, She's just so pleasant to be around. You can pounce quickly over adversaries to douse their pyres from afar. Yeah, I noticed that when I was destroying that other team on accident. When I was trying to not win, but I was still winning. The apparition Sandra appears and then fastens her mask. Listen well, crone, you answer to me here. How very eloquent. May your vast experience exceed your knack for pleasant conversation. I trust that you shall have little trouble here without the benefit of your more communicative friends. Now come. She just made noise at her. It's great. Can't catch me. Whoop. Oh, no, not in time. Well, that's a bad start. But Rookie is not a very heavy hitter. Well, not Rookie, but you know. Ah. Oh. Well, that's embarrassing. Alright, well this will be tough, potentially. Oh, and I have a tiny aura compared to some of these characters, too. You're so fast! Oh, you jumped at me? The dodges here, damn. Oh, come back here. Whoop! Well, that's a start. Only gonna take 3 hits to take them down, too. Oh, but they're all back now. Erp. Nope, dodge. Cut. There we go. Just needed a little bit of an opening. I just kept getting caught during this little back and forth I have with their Kerr. I'd honestly call their entire race Rookie instead of Kerr, because Kerr is just such a shitty thing to call in a group of people. Oh, uh-oh. No, you're still gonna get me. Yeah, I'd rather call them Rookie instead, even though that's one person. Oh. Did I lose? Oh, no, I didn't. I'm doing fine. I'm not... I felt bad about the beginning stuff, and I forgot that I'm actually not that far behind right now. Oh my god. Well, there it goes. That wasn't so bad. Wow, that's what it sounds like when you say that word, huh? A simple test, undeserving to be called a challenge. I ought to fail you just for gloating, Crone, but those are not my rules and your performance was sufficient, thus you have passed my test. Congratulations are in order, to you and your lovely reader. Now farewell. First try. Weird knowing that I switched to a higher difficulty and started winning most of them on my first try. Except the blasted Tizo. What a weird feeling character to control. Good riddance to that mouthy wraith. Show us then, what trinket she bestoweth upon us. It's Milithe's tail. And that is... I should have highlighted there on the menu, but I didn't. Level 20 Legendary Talisman. Bertrud's Blast pierces through solid objects. Oh, we might never take that one off. That's really good. Oh, that's really... As a character-specific power, that's pretty good. Let's see, chance of returning immediately. Make it 51% if I range it by 4 ranks. Overall, not super impressive, though. Didn't mean to go there. What's yours? You should be here. So I don't mix you up. This is the one that does bonus damage while also making it so you don't get banished while flying, which is pretty great. Getting some bonus damage for that wouldn't be terrible. If I can get it up to +5, then she'd be doing 25 damage, which is not bad for a flying character. Or I can go for this Moon Crest. Yeah. Always so torn with some of these things. There's some really good ones. Berguma jumps farther than usual. Yeah, I really just have to pick one. Let's go for this one. A sudden and immediate response, a sudden and immediate return can just like save a round when things are going poorly. Whereas this is a +1 damage, which the chance of that making up the difference over the match is not entirely likely. Just because, like, this is more of a dice roll, whereas this is more of like how math works. Like, +3 damage is really small. +4 damage, it's hard to tell if that would actually change the number of goals required to win, but it seems unlikely. +5 eventually might be enough if the same character is getting enough goals themselves. Yeah. Let's try with Falcon Ron. Here in the dark waters of Barb Reef, you somehow run into the familiar countenance of the slug market proprietor, far from one of his usual stops. Barb Reef, an old exposed reef off the coast of the Isle of Calmer. It used to go by Barbara, but decided Barb sounded much less formal. Really? Really, game? Supergiant, really? You're gonna go with that joke? Alright. Oh, hey, guys. Fancy seeing you again. You come here often? He brandishes some sort of package, which you sense contains a talisman that emanates no small amount of power. Anyways, I got something you're really gonna want, I think. In mint condition, too. I don't know what it is, but I don't know what it's worth. And I can give it to you half off. So, you guys want this thing or what? He offers you a sealed talisman. While you cannot sense exactly what it is, such an artifact would likely cost more once on display. Please only be 100 again. Wait, what? Shit. I made the same mistake again. Oh, after I sold the rookie item and then bought the powder, that did take me below 100, didn't it? Guess who's doing vocations today? He declines Ron's offer, who just shrugs and groans. Well, okay, but don't go saying I ain't giving you good deals, cause I am. Come on, Dad. He shuffles away towards wherever he is headed. You return to the wagon and consider which of your vocations to pursue. Oh, man. Go after the Bertrude's +10 if I level her up again. Let's see here. Nope. Nope, they need a lot more experience than that to level up again. Yeah, it's harder to level people up once they're already rank 3, as far as this thing goes. So let's do this again. I haven't done studying in private for a while. Give the whole party a bonus. You locate a secluded area nearby where you should be able to study the Book of Rites. Through greater understanding comes the reader's influence. It's such a bummer I screwed up the number again. It'd be nice if you could check that stuff when you're in that situation, though, because as far as I can tell, once you're flying and presented with that choice, it's too late to actually check to see what your current money and amount is. I don't think there's a way to check. That's a little bit of a bummer. Oh, you can get +1 glory, but only if you get everything else? Well, that's a reason to go for everything else then, isn't it? Let's see, let's go for quickness. Or presence? Aura sides does help with aura versus aura matches, too. A little tempting both ways. I mean, they're both necessary. And if I get enough of them, I can get bonus glory, and that means +2 to all attacks dealt, which would stack up to being an overall. If you're doing 5 goals, that would be a +10. But I don't know how much that comes up. It's potentially worth it. Let's do quickness. You concentrate on your knowledge of the 8 scribes and how together they compose the Book of Rites among their many feats. Inspiration comes to you in a flash. Whether from the book or from within, you cannot tell. You gain the reader's influence. Celebrity! Hooray! Finish studying. Made the same dumb mistake twice? Twice? So we're at +2 hope and +1 quickness for the entire party now. That could be an overall bonus of +6 to stats, +8 eventually if I can do the entire thing, but might be a little late for that now because I focused away from that for a while. But that helps with some of these characters that have just no hope by default. Bertrude and Jodariel default to 9. That's so down there. 10-second respawns. That was the nice thing about Rookie for sure, is that he had a ridiculously fast respawn from having like 30 hope. the highest number we've ever seen. Oh well, onward.